Hi, I'm Yolanda O'Neill, student in instructional leadership at Jacksonville State University, working on my educational specialist degree. And this video is for my final proposal. And my final proposal is on school absenteeism for the Oral Roberts Elementary School. Problem statement is the area of attendance, and we saw that there was a significant decrease in attendance in grades kindergarten through 4. Um, Prior to this year, we failed to meet AYP, which is the annual yearly progress determined by the State Department. Oral Roberts did not meet that in prior years because of attendance. And so we're going to talk about the things that we do to encourage attendance and to try to get a handle on it, which is the early warning program. And the early warning program is a program that our school system is involved in, and it involves the parents and the court system to help us keep track of attendance for those who are chronically absent, and to get the parents to take responsibility and hold those parents accountable, as well as the students. The purpose of this proposal is to see if an incentives program would be able to encourage and increase student attendance, as well as more parental involvement in that. My hypothesis for this is students' daily attendance rate will increase as a result of this incentives program and parental education meeting compared to quarters that the school did not implement these programs. The definitions that we're going to be looking at: chronic absenteeism, and that simply means missing more than 10% of the school year. Another definition we want to look at is truancy. And truancy is the action of staying away from the school without good reason. Also, truancy is a student's refusal to attend part of a school day or all of a school day, along with a defined number of unexcused absences. And I will tell you that unexcused absences in our school system, once a student gets to 3 unexcused absences, then that student is referred to the early warning program. When that student has gotten to 1 unexcused absence, there is a courtesy letter sent home to remind the parent that your child was absent this day, to please send some kind of documentation to verify their absence. Another thing is when a student gets to the 11th parent note or the 11th parent excused absence, then that child would be referred to early warning as well. The problem that our school faces is chronic absenteeism. Chronic absenteeism affects all American students. It affects about 15% of those students. Some things that this problem is linked to: behavior disorders. When students are chronically absent from school and miss instruction, their academic performance is poor. Their test scores are lower. They have few literacy skills, grade retention, and dropout rates. Those are just a few of the things that chronic absenteeism is linked to. In the literature review, we looked at different journal articles and to see and to locate some of those risk factors. We researched that, and risk factors that were stated throughout literature was the socioeconomic conditions, how those students are living, what are the problems at home. And that goes to the next risk factor: the family structure. Is it a single parent home? The income, all of those things are factors. Other risk factors is the school and the society, the makeup of the school. Also, we looked at Scola and Williamson 2012, and that was the TIP program, and that is just the truancy intervention program that was used in Georgia. And that program that we looked at, the main purpose was to find those students who are truant, provide mentoring and counseling to identify any family issues, which helps to identify those risk factors, and also to help those students get back into school on a daily basis. The next thing we want to look at is the action plan. The first thing we want to do is have a parent meeting to discuss attendance and the importance of students attending school every day, all day. We will send a letter home. Along with that letter will be attached is a permission slip for the students to be able to participate in this incentives program, and just to get the parents to be on the same page with that. The next thing that we plan to do is the principal is going to reveal the incentives program on our morning program to encourage the students, as well as to inform them what it is and what those incentives are. We also want to let them know that the incentives will be a quarterly snack party or a movie party, those tangible things that those students are able to have. And the timeline that we're going to do this is going to be the 9 weeks period. We want to start at the beginning of school, and we're going to start charting and keeping up with attendance and the excuses. Teachers will do that in the classroom, as well as using our iNow program. We will do incentives for the weekly attendance as well as the 9-week as a whole. After that timeline of the 9 weeks has passed by, we will go back, and our leadership team, as well as our administration, along with myself, we're going to analyze that data and make parent calls. That is going to be throughout this 9-week period. If the child is absent, they're going to receive a phone call stating your child is absent today. Please send an excuse. And also reminding them to please remind their students to bring the excuse, turn it in, and make up any missed work. The solutions that we're going to look at is the truancy intervention program that we talked about, that the Atlanta schools used, and that program simply involved all the stakeholders, as well as community leaders and lawyers and things of that nature, those who can encourage and implement ideas, retired teachers that could pour back into the students to help increase student attendance and to help to encourage the parents to get the students to school. The other solution was the incentives program, and like I said, we would provide those incentives on a weekly basis. One thing that we will be doing is posting the daily attendance in the hallway. Each teacher will have a chalkboard outside of their room, and they can chart each day if they have 100%, and we're going to make a big deal out of that by doing our little daily announcement of the classes that had 100% attendance that day, and to sort of just give them encouragement to do that each day. Also, we're going to look at tracking the attendance and addressing issues early on. So as early as kindergarten, we're going to start looking at attendance and try to get a handle on it early in the child's education, so that by the time they are in the middle school and high school, we could have possibly gotten a handle on the attendance issues. The next slides just show our reference slides and all the references that were used to make up and to research school absenteeism. One thing that we did look at was a book review. We reviewed the book, Truancy Prevention and Intervention, A Practical Guide. And this was just the book review gave us ideas on how to address truancy, and that was to identify those students who are truant and what interventions that we could offer as a school and a school system. We also need to look at the consequences for the students. There should be consequences for their absenteeism, but then there are also consequences for the school as well. Working together with all stakeholders will help to increase that attendance, and that book review reminded us of that as well. The anticipated findings is whether an incentives program will increase student attendance as well as more parental involvement. Will that help to improve attendance over the rate or period of 9 weeks? This concludes and this ends our video presentation, and the following slides are just our reference slides. And so thank you so much.